everyone, I am back with another video. This video was actually requested by one of my followers from Instagram. I've known her for a very long time and she wanted to know how I manage my natural hair. Now I'm going to share some tips and advice for you on just managing it in general and also managing it while in college, because as you can see, I'm in my dorm room right now. Trying to manage natural hair in college was a struggle for me last semester because it just was a different environment for me and I was so used to one routine, and you really have to switch up. My very first tip is to come up with a routine. And I'm not just saying to go on YouTube and watch a natural hair routine or wash and go twist out routine and then boom, that's your routine. You cannot just follow someone else's routine to the T and expect it to automatically work for your hair. It might if you're lucky, but for the most part it probably won't work out that well. You have to take in consideration that you might have a different curl pattern, you might have different densities, and you might have fine or thick hair, which also is a very big part of it. And number one, porosity. Porosity is so important to know when you have natural hair, because then it depends on what kind of products you're going to be able to use on your hair. It helps you come up with a better routine. Certain things work well for high porosity and certain things work well for low porosity. With that being said, be consistent with your routine. Don't just do it for a month, give up, and then pick back up 2 months later. That is not good because your hair is just gonna be confused. You really want to stick to your routine because that's when you're gonna see the results. Consistency is key. It is a major key in taking care of your natural hair, especially when it comes to trimming and deep conditioning. If you deep condition your hair once a month and then you don't do it for 6 more months and you expect your hair to look beautiful and voluptuous and all that jazz, it's not. I'm telling you that right now, it's not. Next thing, listen to your hair. I bet you're probably wondering,
what does that mean, listen to your hair?
If your hair is dry, moisturize it. Moisturize it, okay? If your hair feels brittle at the ends, or if your ends are a complete different texture than the rest of your hair, it's time for a trim. If you feel single strand knots at the end of your hair or just throughout your whole head, cut them. I like to do this maybe once every 2 or 3 months. I will actually take the time out to go throughout my whole head of hair and find all the single strand knots. I have very coily hair, so it likes to tangle up and knot on itself, which results in single strand knots. And single strand knots can lead to breakage and damage, which is something that we don't want. If you like to finger detangle like I do, you will feel those single strand knots as you're detangling, especially if your hair is wet. It is best to cut or trim your hair when it's dry because then you can see what kind of shape that it's in. You also don't want to mess up your shape. I have a whole notebook. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a whole notebook of notes, so y'all know this is real. Next thing on the list is protective styles if you are short on time. This is also key if you're in college. I know last semester it was very cold. It was very cold. Very cold. And I know my Connecticut people, my New England people know how cold it was. And that is just not the way for natural hair. It's cold air and natural hair don't go. If you are the type of person that likes protective styles, do protective styles. But protective styles are meant to protect your hair. So take care of your hair while it's in that protective style, as in cleansing your hair still, moisturizing it. Just because your hair is in box braids or whatever protective style you choose does not mean it does not need to be moisturized. You still have to take care of your hair. That's not just a pass to neglect your hair. Do not neglect your hair. Take care of it at all times, please. Also, in college, obviously, you're not going to have a lot of time depending on your schedule. I know last semester my schedule was ridiculous, but this semester is a lot more free for me. I have a lot of free time. So I've been able to take care of my hair more and give it more attention, the attention that it really needs, honestly. And that's something that natural hair requires, is attention. I know there's a lot of lazy naturals, is what people like to call themselves, that do protective styling, or they do their hair like maybe once a week. That's honestly up to you. It's whatever you feel is best for your hair. Also, with protective styles, you don't need to have weave or a wig. You can do mini twists. You can do your own box braids with your actual hair. You don't necessarily have to feed in any artificial hair or anything like that, which is something I plan on doing. I do want to try mini twists. I'm not sure how I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna try it on my hair when it's blown out, but we'll see how it goes. But that can also be used as a protective style because you're not manipulating your hair throughout the week, you're not touching it and everything. It's already in a style as it is. The next thing on my list is so important when you are managing your natural hair. And for those of you that don't do this, get a grip. Get it together, okay? Because your hair knows. Your hair knows that you are neglecting it. Wrap your hair at night. Please. Wrap your hair at night. Wrap it up at night. Some naturals, they actually don't wrap their hair at night. They just plop on a satin pillowcase and call it a day. I can't do that. I don't stay on the pillow when I sleep. I always wake up and the pillow's all the way on the floor half of the time. I have to wrap my hair in some shape or form, whether I'm using a scarf or a bonnet. They're not that expensive. If you need one, I have like 20, so just let me know. But seriously, wrap your hair. That is so important. If you are the type that really doesn't like to sleep with something on your head, then definitely invest in a satin pillowcase or satin sheets if you're like me and your head just slides all over the place while you sleep. If you don't use a satin pillowcase, or if you have cotton pillowcases and your hair is just rubbing against it, that is drying out your hair. The friction with hair, especially natural hair, and cotton pillowcases is ridiculous. You do not want that to cause more breakage, more damage, dry out your hair. It's just not good. I do plan on making a video of the different ways that you can preserve your hair at night. Just keep an eye out for that. I don't know when exactly I'll be making that video, but I do have a schedule. Seriously, wrapping your hair at night is so important, especially if you want to preserve your hairstyle. If you just lay down and go to sleep, you're gonna wake up and your hairstyle is gonna be all over the place. It's not good. Don't do it. But do not lay on your hair if it's not wrapped up, if you're not laying on a satin pillowcase, something. Your hair needs to be protected. Next thing, and this is one of my favorite things to do in my hair, deep conditioning. This is so good for your hair. It's so moisturizing, especially during those cold winter months. Deep conditioning is life-changing for your hair, because last semester, like I said, I really did not have that much time, so I'm not gonna say I was neglecting my hair, but I was not deep conditioning as much as I should have. Now that I deep condition once a week, every week, with my hot head, and I use steam and everything, I've noticed such a difference in my hair. I know for some people that have low porosity hair, they deep condition with a shower cap or some sort of steam to really penetrate your hair. I have high porosity, so I don't necessarily need to use a hot cap or anything like that when I do deep condition, but I like to because I just feel like it makes my hair really, really soft and moisturized. Also, deep conditioning helps soften your hair for when you are going to be applying your styling products. I know a lot of times shampoo can dry your hair. Even if you put conditioner in your hair, that might not be enough for your hair. Sometimes I skip the regular conditioner. I just go to my deep conditioner. You don't have to leave it on for 30 minutes. I know I like to leave it on for 20 to 30 minutes. You can leave it on for 5 minutes. Most deep conditioners even say 5 to 10 minutes. Do something. You can't just not deep condition, honestly. It's really good for your hair. Your hair will thank you. Trust me. Next thing on my list, and this is something that I am guilty of, but keep your hands out of your hair. Don't do it. Don't do it. I get you love the way your curls feel and it's just so soft and juicy. After a full day of having your hands in your hair, how does your hair feel? Dry? Not moisturized? Brittle, maybe? Yeah. Why? Because you had your hands in your hair all day. And I'm guilty of it. I know for me personally, if I have my hands in my hair all day and I'm just touching it and doing this and making sure it's in the right shape and whatnot, by the end of the day, my hair will be dry. And that's because I am literally taking the product off of my hair and I'm stripping my hair of its oils, and that's why it's not soft anymore and it's dry at the end of the day. Also, it can cause frizz. If you're like me, I really don't mind frizz 80% of the time, but a lot of people want that definition for as long as they can. And the first day you do your hair, if it's day 1, day 2, and you're in your hair all the time, I can guarantee you your definition is gonna be gone by day 3 or day 4. Just try your best to not constantly be in your hair. Sometimes I'll just daydream and just be touching it and twirling it, and we all gotta stop, okay? We gotta do this as a team effort, guys, okay? We all gotta stop. I've seen it. I've witnessed my other naturals doing it right in front of my eyes, and in my head I'm like, girl, stop touching your hair. Oh, it stresses me out. I stress myself out when I do it, but we're not perfect, but we'll learn. Next thing, okay, so this is definitely more so a tip for when you are in college. Experiment with the best times to use the shower. Our dorms are pretty small compared to other schools. I know some of my friends that are at a school that's like 45 minutes away from here. Their dorms are huge. They have like 60 girls on one floor. We probably have less than 20. There's 8 to 10 people on each side of the floor. We have 2 bathrooms and there are 2 showers in each. There's a total of 4 showers on each floor. The issue with my dorm specifically, the showers, it's not a stream of water. It's a mist. A mist. Do you think a mist is gonna wet this? It barely does. So I have to go on the other side to shower over there because it will take so long for my hair to actually get wet, and it's just sad. But you really have to experiment with the best times possible is to use your shower, or if there's a time where everyone likes to take a shower. Washing your hair, especially natural hair, if you're deep conditioning in the shower, styling in the shower. Some people do like to style their hair in the shower as well. It takes a lot of time, and you want to make sure that you're not going to be holding up other people. You want to be courteous, okay?
I know you're probably thinking, okay, but we don't care about other people.
Be courteous, all right? You're not the only one living there. You want to make sure that you have enough time to do everything that you need to do. I've noticed that it's best for me to do my hair in the morning or midday. Nighttime, I do not like to wash my hair at nighttime because 1, I like to dry it throughout the day a little bit. 2, everyone is in the shower at nighttime, and it's just not the best because once it hits 9, 10, 11 o'clock, it's just everybody, one after the other, is in the shower. Experiment with the best times it is for you personally to use a shower, depending on how long you need to use a shower. And like I said before, be courteous of others. You're not the only one living there. If you have a ton of showers, do what you gotta do. Smaller dorm like here, obviously I have to think about others as well. My last tip for managing natural hair is to be patient, okay? Do not get discouraged if you're doing a routine or if you're experimenting with new products and they're not working for your hair. You just hate how your hair looks. You feel like nothing is ever gonna work for your hair. Be patient, honestly, because it's a learning experience and it's a learning process. You're never gonna stop learning about your hair. I've been natural for 5 years now. I've really been natural my whole life, but I've actually started wearing my hair in its natural state like this for 5 years now. I'm constantly learning about my hair. I literally just learned this year, 3 months ago, what my hair porosity was. That's sad. It's sad, honestly. It's a learning process, and just be patient with yourself. Be patient with your hair. As I said before, listen to your hair. If it's telling you that it's thirsty and it needs some moisture, give it some moisture. Come up with different ways to moisturize your hair. What's the best way to moisturize your hair? You really just have to experiment. It's a lot of trial and error. So really, don't get discouraged. I feel like a lot of people, when they first go natural, they get discouraged so easily, and then they go back to relaxers or they go back to weaves and wigs, and there's no issue with that. But if going natural is something that you really want to do, or wearing your hair in its natural state, keep doing your research. Find other YouTubers that have similar hair to you. And I'm not just saying curl pattern, I'm saying density, fine, thick hair, porosity, all those things really matter. It's not just a curl type. That pretty much wraps everything up. If I think of anything else, I will just make a part 2 to this, or if you guys have any more questions, please comment below. I will not know what you guys want to hear if you don't tell me. If I miss anything, just comment below. I'll read your comments and I'll reply back. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Bye guys.